Hey, what's up, everyone? Vince here, and we also have the late crewers. We have first of all, go ahead, Kuya.
Hey, Edward here from Philippines.
What about you,
Jeff
hermano?
Fagundes here.
It's my
Hermano,
turn.
what about you? What about you, hermano? Go ahead.
Hello, guys. Eduardo from Argentina.
Sheila,
Hello, guys. I'm Sheila. I'm currently living in Turkey, but I'm from the Philippines.
Julie.
Yeah, I'm Julia. I'm living in USA, but originally from Korea, South Korea.
All right, I'm gonna remove myself. I'm going to also.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan and I'm from the Philippines.
All right, and this is the Rinky Dink late crew. I'm not gonna have
Ooh.
you everyone say that anymore because we just don't are no never in sync. So for today's episode, we would like to talk about an ever-present topic, and it's all about language struggles. I mean, not some of these questions are related to language learning and stuff, but and it's an ever-present topic that it just keeps on coming back, and so we wanted to rehash it and see and get some of these answered rather, or questions answered. The first question that we have is, what is the value of learning languages? What is the value of learning languages? What about you, Chris? You start with this.
For me, the value of learning the languages is in order for you to connect to other people, and not only to other people, but to different part of the world, like in different countries. Because learning the language is somehow will open up the doors, and also will open like different opportunities for us. So that's the value for me of the languages.
All right, thank you for that, Chris. What about you, Julie? One of our newest members, Julie G1.
The value of learning language is like I said. I think it for me is expanding my perspective to the world about the world. So learning language help me to articulate the thoughts in my head. So that is the value of language. Learning language must be expanding my capability and the ability to learn something new and expand my perspectives.
What about you, Jeff? What is the value of language?
Value of learning languages. Well, to me, yeah, languages have a high value. Okay, I see learning languages as you learning like a different part of human beings, because we are all connected as human beings. But when you talk different languages, you might, by through learning a new language, you might no you definitely will dive into a new universe, basically new culture through a language. So it's like Edward was saying, it's the door for new places, basically. So languages, they can connect people. In my opinion, languages connect people more than they divide people. So I place a very high value in learning languages. Mhm.
All right, thank you for that, Jeff. What about you, Atishilo? What is the value of learning languages to you?
Okay, so for me, aside from the cognitive benefits of learning languages, for me, it was the most enriching and rewarding part of learning several languages because it helps me connect with people from different countries, and it helps me learn the cultures and traditions. And also for me personally, it's also a self satisfaction to learn several languages because it opens several doors for me, knowing that I can speak different languages.
All right, thank you so much. What about you, hermano? What is the value of learning language to you?
Mhm. Yes, I agree with all those opinion of the guys, because I think learning languages broaden your horizon. You can, by learning different language, as Jeff said, you not only are learning a language, but also a culture, different way to interact with people, and so you become basically wiser. You now you have more word experience, to work with, and maybe you can have different projects. One project for people speaking English, Tagalog, Portuguese, and you can, if you are an artist, you can have different projects, different directions to take, and you can mix cultures. So I think I think that learning languages is a great advantage in every aspect of your life. You can apply what you learn in everything, in your work, in your passions. To me, I just learned one language, or I'm learning English. This is the only language I'm learning apart from my native language, and I found that I got a lot of new possibilities, and I've learned a lot from you guys. You are from pretty different places. Brazil, you are Sheila, you are in Turkey. I can talk to you, and you can uh, tell me some things about that place and everything. I think that if you told me 2 years ago that I would be able to speak to you, or that would be like I don't know, unbelievable to me, that being able to communicate with you guys and being doing something like this, like a podcast or a video conversation. I, I, I imagine if you can do this the same in different languages, knowing different people and stories and culture and everything. To me, that it adds a lot of value to your life, and I think that that's it. Languages are, as my tokayo said, Edward. It opens you a lot of opportunity and doors, and make your horizon wide.
All right, the horizons are wider for Hermano. What about you, Ryan?
Oh, so yeah, I'm just gonna go in and paraphrase what everybody here said. Like Sheila, uh, said something about self satisfaction. I can agree with that. It actually feels rewarding, and yeah, it feels good to like be able to like string like some weird new words together. And it's like you've unlocked a different part of society, and it's like a gateway to whole culture. And there's also the mentally beneficial, because if I'm not wrong, like there's a research that says maybe bilinguals or trilinguals kind of uh, I think they're kind of more. I'm not sure if
You're
I just read it
cognitively,
all. Yeah, yeah,
you're
Yeah,
cognitively.
they're
the
yeah,
cognitive
because they
benefits
get
of
to
it.
like switch. Yeah, than monolinguals.
All right, thank you for that,
Yeah, that's right.
Ryan. For me, it kind of sums up whatever everyone was saying earlier. But how come I can't make myself? Anyway, so what I wanted to say was that the value of language learning is that, first of all, it helps us connect with people. So a lot of people already said that, so I'm not going to rehash that. But it also advances our careers. There are employers here in America, especially, they want people who are bilinguals, trilinguals, multilinguals, because they need they need to talk to people from other cultures. For example, whenever I call on the phone, I'll always hear the English. For English, press one, and then Spanish. Uh, para continuar en español, marque nueve, or oprima número dos, whatever, like something like that. So because it's an ever-present language, especially here in California. So they need that sort of skill. Another advantage for this is that, so if you are able to speak multiple languages, you have a better chance at fulfilling these niches. It also, like what Ryan was saying earlier, it feeds your brain, neurologically speaking. We multilinguals are wired differently when it comes to your brain. So I was reading that they have improved memory, problem solving, critical thinking skills. They have enhanced concentration. They have the
Exactly.
ability to multitask, not real multitasking, more like they're able to multitask in a way that it's way faster, because they are already juggling in their heads multiple language anyway. So it's kind of not a far stretch for them to be able to switch from task to task. and also better listening skills, because we have to, as communicators, we need to be able to listen to people, and it also deepens connections to other cultures. If you Nelson Mandela once said that if you talk to a man in a language he understands, it goes to his head. If you talk to him in his own language, that goes to his heart. By the way, there's a misquote from him. He was actually referring to learning Afrikaans because it was the language of the oppressors, and that if you learn the language of the oppressors, you're able to plead with them better. But that said, it's still the message is still kind of still there. That yeah, if you talk to me in my own language, Cebuano, I would it would hurt more. If you're trying to hurt me, you could talk to me Cebuano, you hurt me more. And if I understand what you're saying, by the way, and also it enables you to see the world. You're able to go to different places and be able to talk to them in their vernacular. You may go to a different a part of the country where if you don't speak the language, you're not going to be able to, because you just they may feel uneasy. So it opens doors basically. And if you are into literature, you can always go to the source if you speak multiple languages, if you speak that language, of course. And so that's just another one. Other ones are you can become a polyglot. It also boosts your confidence. And by the way, that's why I'm so confident right now, because I'm multilingual. No, I'm kidding. But it also
Yeah.
strengthens your decision making, because if you talk in a second language or a third language, it's more of you're more reason driven, according to one of the articles that I was reading, and backed by science as well. So you are more emotional when it comes to your first language, but you're more reason driven in the other language that you have acquired later on in life. However, I'm not sure about true bilinguals who have acquired those two languages that they speak, or even three at the same time. I'm not sure about that. And also, it gives you perspective. So, once you have other languages, you are able to understand what the nuances of other languages. So, sorry, Ryan and I are creating a book for idioms. He was actually the one who really wanted to pursue this, and I was just, I'm just like the editor kind of. But there are idioms that are unique to Cebuano, and then if you, I mean, idioms in a way are always almost always unique in a language. They don't translate well because it's they are a set of words that are put in a phrase, and yeah, there are a lot of idioms, idioms. In Cebuano, so it's kind of funny, but we're not gonna go into that for now. So yeah, let's just move on to our next question, because I know that two of our participants have to leave soon. So, is it possible to understand and write well but not be able to have a conversation? Um, for me, I think it's possible if you're into the literature of a given language, like what I was saying in my initial response. You can just learn how to read and write in that language. You don't have to be conversational in it. For example, Latin is classical Latin is dead, so of course you're not going to have a conversation with someone in Latin, I guess. But actually, I saw someone who wanted to really revive this language, and he knows how to speak it, but it has has a lot of Italian in it. But I guess that's how classical Latin sounded like. I'm not sure. I'm not a Latin speaker, so I will never know. But yeah, you can do it. It's possible to be able to read and write, but not be able to speak.
Yeah,
What about you guys? What about
yeah,
you, Joe?
totally. I agree 100% with what you said. In fact, some people who learn, for instance, English, I can say in Brazil, for instance, people learn to write and read, and only when their teachers decide that they are advanced enough, they start trying to use the spoken language, and turns out it's too late. Most of the time, it's super late for them to start using the spoken language, like the list, work on their listening and speaking skills. So I'm a huge advocate of teaching language through the sounds of it. First, you learn to recognize sounds, listen to the sounds, and imitate sounds, and that's how you become a speaker of the language, not only a learner of the language or someone who knows the language, who knows facts about the language but cannot use the language. But yes, 100%. Yeah, you can know how to read and write the language and not be able to have a conversation. 100%.
Any
Yeah, I
any
agree.
counter arguments or anything that would corroborate this to this belief, or anyone? Is anyone right now? What about you, Eduardo? Do you think so or not? Or no so? You need to unmute yourself.
Sorry, guys. Uh, I was thinking of a subject here in college that people in different degrees they have to choose to learn one of those languages that are English or French. And the approach they take is that you have to be able to understand the text, and they don't care about speaking the language. They just teach you how to recognize words and the general idea about the text, and this approach is really effective because those students at the end of the course they are able to pick an English text and they understand the whole idea. Maybe they are not sure about the I don't know the tenses, some maybe some specific vocabulary, but they will understand the overall meaning of the text. So that's an interesting approach, and I think that this supports the idea that uh, you can learn to read and write the language, but it isn't necessary that you will be able to speak the language by knowing. In my personal experience, I was like, when I started, I quickly felt confident um, by with my listening skills. I was really confident. I understood everything, but I couldn't say a word, a phrase, keep a conversation because there was something. There was a kind of disconnection between the skills. I was able to write basically some sentences, some short text, but it was until I got the confidence to speak and started practicing and practicing more and more that I made this wiring between all those skills that and then I started improving not only in speaking but also in writing and well my listening skill kept improving. So I think that you need to try to exercise all the skills in order to improve everything in one direction and not have this like uneven abilities levels of abilities. So yes, I think it is possible to know how to write and read a language, but it is not a you're not be it is not necessary that you will be able to speak without practicing the speaking skills.
What about you, Tishio? The same thing with you, and I know you're
Yeah,
still.
I totally agree with Jeff and Eduardo because where I'm at right now here in Turkey, like my students, usually their problem is the grammar is perfect, the written skill is perfect, but when it comes to speaking skills, they couldn't utter even a single word. So it's really possible. You can perfectly write, read, or even listen, but expressing it, it's difficult because maybe number one reason, the self-confidence, and also the lack of practice.
What about you, Jeff? Same thing with you, or do you have a different take on this?
Same thing, same thing. As I was saying before, I'm a big supporter of teaching the language through the sounds of it. If I always give the apple example. I much rather have an apple in my hands and show to my student and say apple, 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 and make the student recognize that that's an apple and you call it an apple. And I'll make them say apple and draw an apple, than writing the word down and showing the word apple. So I avoid the written part of the language intentionally. And I think that's, yeah, I think that's helpful because it's going to get them to process the language faster.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so
Speaking of
Vince,
apples, yeah, yeah. Go
in
ahead.
addition with what Jeff said, let's say for me personally, I now I can speak Turkish, I can understand Turkish, but my skill with, if I rate my skill with writing and reading, I would rate myself in 4. What my speaking is 10, but my reading and writing is just gonna be 4.
I see. Okay. All right. I mean, it's the opposite for you. What about you, Chris? Speaking of manzanas, Edu manzanas. Okay, that
Edu
will definitely not
Manzano.
fly. Edu manzano. I mean, that's not gonna fly with the others. But anyway, what about you, Riyad? Edu, Edward. By the way, you're muted right now, so we cannot hear you.
How about now?
Yes,
Am I
you.
Yes,
audible
you're
right?
good.
All right, good, good. Yeah, for me, indeed, is it possible to, most especially, for the mute person who doesn't speak, of course.
That's
Yeah, that is totally possible for sure.
okay.
For those mute person, but yeah, I respect mute person because they're very intelligent person and they're using a sign language and all the stuff. And yep, but yeah, aside from that, yeah, the behavior is a big factor for this because there is a person like an introvert. So those introvert person is, they don't seek out special attention, or they don't like a social engagement, so they tend to be quiet rather than engaging to someone else and try to speak out what's in their mind and what's they're feeling. So it's, yeah, for me it's like the behavior, it's a big factor for this. So
Mhm.
that's all for me.
All right, Brian. I noticed you're very enthusiastic with the, archaic is one of words, and
Yeah.
there a lot of it is basically just reading and reading and writing, and a lot of it too is us just typing. So we are understanding and writing these words, but for me, it's more like I don't really know how to say some of these words, so I can't really say that I'm conversational with it. I know I could synthesize, I could kind of what you call this now, guess what it sounds like. But what about you? I mean, do you have like special like insider knowledge when it comes to the conversational part of things when it comes to archaic Cebuano whenever we speak? So I don't know how to
Mm.
say these words.
Um.
I'm just basically giving a twist to
Oh,
this
so
question.
I thought we were talking about English. Like,
No, we're just talking about right now. It's I
yeah,
know we're talking, we're in English, but
yeah, yeah,
language struggles, language in general.
yeah. I think we should probably have like channel, like the one you suggested.
Okay, that is not what I. But do you think? Uh, so what do you say? What do you say about the question then? If you don't want to
Oh,
answer
there's
the
both.
my question.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. It happens to me every time because I only ever talk in English through chats or yeah, chats and watching TV and probably when doing my essays, but I rarely talk to people online. So like
Mhm.
on the voice calls or anything. So yeah, it's like I'm still struggling with talking like conversational stuff.
Okay, all right. So moving on to the next question, which is, as a beginner, what are the first things that you need to be able to say? For me, we were talking about this earlier, and so I will just rehash what I said. And that for me, it's more about the phonetics, and I'm basing this on the on what I read from Fluent Forever by Gabriel Weiner. When it comes to language learning, when we were kids, we actually did not know how to we would acquire the sounds of our languages first. So his reasoning is that, and also this guy is an opera singer, so he really cares how to on how to pronounce words in what he sings, and so he says that he actually sings in Italian or whatever German, before that he learned this language, he would sing them. He'll be able to sing them before he really knows how to speak in them, and he doesn't really know what he's saying. And but yeah, for me, I think it also goes back to when we were kids, and that, or rather, when we were infants, we would acquire the language by way of kind of like mimicking what our parents are saying. So So for
Yeah,
me, I started like Gugu Gaga, right, Jeff?
yeah,
Yeah.
I would second what you just said. Yeah, that's perfect because when you think of a second language, you don't need to actually live by that label. Oh, that's my second language. That's my third language. No, that's
Exactly.
your language. It's your language. Okay, so
Exactly.
it's possible to acquire that language through the exact same way you acquire the first language, which is by listening, paying attention, your surrounding. So learning about that through that language, you're learning that language. So yeah, an example. Well, to add to that, I would say, along with the sounds, you want to learn how to survive in the language. So you want to learn how to ask for help. You want to learn how to ask for water and food, right? That's the thing that you need to work on first at the language. If you are a grown person, you're living in a place, you want to learn how to ask for help for sure. Those are the first things you want to say. Hello, I need help. That kind of stuff. Well, I need water. I need food. I need a home to stay. I need money. I need a job. Those kind of things. But the sounds, not with those would be the vocabulary that you want to build, but
Exactly.
through the sounds, of course.
Funny
Mhm.
you should say that because I was saying something along the lines of that same thing earlier, that you need to know the expressions and how to survive. Because when I was in Japan, my Japanese skyrocketed, and the only words that I could really muster were the ones that were like right, left. Where do I go? I'm lost.
Yeah.
I need to go straight or whatever. Ride the Shinkansen or ride the train, and yeah, that's how I was able to go back and be on my way. And also, by the way, when that happened, we were helping a little kid, and she was crying, she was sobbing, and good thing that there was a and she this was a little girl,
Yeah.
so we were talking to her in, in baby Japanese, I guess.
Right.
Whatever we could muster, like, hey, it's gonna be okay, daijoubu desu yo, like, so we were consoling this little girl. And so another thing would be words that would console people. That would be, I guess, one of the things that I would target when it comes to whatever we
Yeah.
need to
Yeah.
like,
Words
whatever's
that will
useful.
bring you closer to the people, right?
Hmm.
Words that will show them that you're a friend, that you are trustworthy, maybe, right?
Right.
Positive words.
Hmm. But I'm thinking that if I'm not mistaken, Ate Sheila has something
Oh
that
yeah, I heard
goes against this. But you were saying something along the lines of, what was it, Ate?
No, I'm not saying anything.
No, you said something else. You said something else. You
you.
said something else before. But if you don't remember, it's fine.
Okay, no, 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 no. I totally remember it because I will answer my question based on my experience.
Mhm.
Okay, so when I first learned a language, I first asked the four letters.
And she's talking about the
Can,
expertise.
can you say? No, yeah, and also most of my students,
Mhm.
that's what they will ask you first. Like, when you heard a student talking with their native language and all of this sudden it will pop out from their mouth the four letters, it's impossible to miss it. So it's like, but for me, learning a language, I have to learn first, you know the basic, how to express myself for my basic needs. Okay, so just what as Jeff and Ben said, like, I have to say, where am I going, where is the restaurant, where can I buy this, where can I buy that, and then afterwards the other stuff will follow.
Totally. Yep.
Yeah. What about you,
Yeah.
Hermano? What are your first? What's first?
Yes, I think that first of all we have to think about the age of the person. Maybe if it is an adult, you will need different things to learn about the new language than a kid. For example, a kid will have more time to learn it, and maybe different opportunities in the playground with their friends, and it will be different. But this person will have a shorter time to adapt to a new language in order to be able to get a job and provide to their family or for himself. And I think that you need to start by learning a core vocabulary and grammar. You need some I don't know, know
Structure.
something, some strategy, some
I was saying
uh,
structure for your
structure.
sentences.
Yes, to
Yeah,
combine. Maybe this structure won't be perfect, but maybe if you use do instead of does or something like that, the people are going to understand that you are making a question and you
right.
are saying no, yes, and things. And also, if you know the vocabulary, maybe the verb, you won't be able to make the perfect combination of tenses, but they will understand you if you say like need run, need go, I don't know, need me
Need
need
goal.
water,
Yeah,
something like
that makes
that.
sense. That makes sense. That's
The-
good enough. It's not perfect, grammatically speaking, but it's effective, right? So
Exactly.
yeah, I like that. I like
Yeah,
that. You
mhm.
yeah, go ahead.
Utility versus being able to really use the language instead of just using it intellectually. That's what it is.
yes, by knowing just the root of the words, maybe the just one form, the infinitive, or the maybe the noun, maybe you will be able to say something, to maybe you need I don't know, food, and you are hungry, but you just say uh, food, hungry, and the people are going to help you if you are a beggar or something like that. Uh, but yes, that's my point. You need to create a core vocabulary and grammar just
Exactly.
to have something where to base your language, and then on you are going to acquire the rest of by using it, by trying different combination and paying attention.
All right. What about you, Kuyad? Anything else?
Yep. To piggyback the what Metakayo says, yeah. Probably I would do the listening first, because when you are listening, that was the time you are learning, right? So that will expand your vocabulary as well, and so that and also that was a good example on how babies learn when they learn through listening, and they actually absorb like word per word until such time that they connect connect the word to each other, and until they compose it into a sentence. Then yeah, probably yeah, I would go with the listening first, then expand my vocabulary, and that way I'll be able to say something.
Okay. Yeah. Utility again. Utility versus just being intellectual in the language. Okay. Let's move on to the next question then, which is that question. How would you deal with discrimination and bigotry coming from native speakers of the language? And how about non-native speakers of the language, especially your own, people from your own culture? So this is something that has been, I think, all of us has had an experience when it comes to this. So, Chris, let's start with you. Since I know that you work for a call center, so care to share?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I've been experienced this. I had this kind of experiences, like the customer discriminating me. At first, yeah, I gave them like a benefit of the doubt, but at some point, at some time, that I got hurt because they intentionally like go into my accent, like, hey, I know where you're from because of your accent, something like that. So but um, I realize sometimes that I don't need to take it personally, because yeah, it's a part of my job, but somehow yeah, it's kind of hard on my feelings. But yeah, I used to manage it, because sometimes they are just intentionally doing it, because maybe they are like racist or prejudice or whatnot. But most of the time, they try to um, they try to like discriminate me whenever I don't, I cannot provide what they what asking for, because sometimes most of the resolution, it's not that it's out of my hand, so it's not it's out of my control. So being said that, yeah, but one thing that really hurts me regarding the discrimination, though I'm not a like a pity person that doing a pity party. So I'm not that a pity person that um, but sometimes the most hurtful thing that you would be experiencing is that whenever you are discriminated to your own country. Because I had this kind of experience when I applied to the corporate industry, which is also a part of like outsourcing company as well, like a small call center, something like that. But yeah, during the training, the trainer is a Filipino as well, so same like me. But of course, they are just like um, higher than me because they are the trainer. But the trainer like teaching me uh, how to differentiate the F and the P, the F and the P and the B and the V. So it should be like for F and V, it should be like there's you have to put your lip, your lip like
Yeah, you need to put your
um
lip
uh,
on your
under
chest.
your and there's an air that will come out, something like that, because here in Philippines, yeah, we tend to like I think we're sounds like somehow because of the like we're not using it, and somehow we have this kind of influence like the Spanish influence, because I believe the Spanish like having a hard time to differentiate those letters as well.
It would be
But
the F. Sorry, it would be the V and the B only, not the F and the P.
not that from the
Correct?
P, but
What about you? Yeah, could you say
yeah.
something about this, Hermano? Just a
We
little
have
bit.
just one sound for V and B. And you know, English is helping me with spelling because from the English word, I remember that using the different V's in Spanish, different B's in Spanish, because we have some problems in Spanish with spelling and with the S and C and the two B's, because we pronounce the same, the C and S, we pronounce the same and we don't make differences in Spanish, and also in with the B and V. When we
Right.
spell, we tend to mistake it. But in English, it is easier because when we learn the pronunciation of a word, we learn this difference with, for example, boy and voice, voice, boys, voice, boy. That's helpful to learn because it also helps you with the spelling and everything related to this the pronunciation. But yes, we don't have that different sounds in Spanish, the differentiation between
All right,
those.
back to Filipino. V and B, F and P, please.
And back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
bigotry.
How about you, Jeff? Because you're an English coach, right? So what's
I
your
am.
take about it? About that, differentiating.
So
What
yeah.
is the strategies that you could share?
Well, here's the thing. You guys want me to go back to the original question, right? To to tackle that, which is, can you share again, Vince? Here, it's about bigotry, right? How would you deal with discrimination and bigotry coming from native speakers of the language? How about non-native speakers? Well, as I said, living in the U.S., especially in the very beginning, I had my fair share of bad experiences with native speakers. because I didn't sound like them from the very beginning, right? The very beginning, I didn't even know the language, so it was impossible. At some point, and that was fast, I would say I was sounding like a little kid. I was sounding like a kid, like and then a teenager, right? I was getting better, I was closing the gap, because I was a grown person, I was a young man, and I was sounding like a kid. So it was difficult. It was difficult. It was they treated me with some of them. I can't generalize, with very little respect. In a very condescending manner at the workplace, uh, at the market, and so how do you handle that? Well, you need to get a good handle of your own emotions, which is very difficult. But you need to make a plan for yourself. You need to have a plan for yourself, which I had. I just wanted to learn the language to the best of my ability, and I didn't want to experience that ever again. That was my goal, and I had it in the back on the back of my mind. I had it, one day I'm gonna sound just like them, and guess what? I will still have my native language, and I'm gonna acquire a third one and maybe a fourth one, and these people are going to be left behind. They are going to be the stupid ones, because they treated me like I was stupid, and now I'm showing them who's stupid now.
We're stupid now. All right. The best revenge is actually success, right? Best revenge is success. So for me, when I first came to from the Philippines, when I first came to America, I
Yeah,
landed in San Francisco. I was 13, and at the time, I went to school, and of course, I would have to go to school, and I went
right.
to eighth grade. So I was only there for about 3 months. But long story short, I was bullied because of how I spoke and how I sounded. And of course, at that time, I was still new. I already learned English back in the Philippines, but of course, Filipinos have a different type of English, so we call it Philippine English. And a lot of even I still even remember saying something along the lines of, "I cannot understand you because you speak so slang." And by the way, slang in the Philippines just basically means you have an accent. I never really so in a way it's kind of a confusion between what to call an accent, but it's very common when it comes to us when it comes to that. But yeah, so it came to a point where it wasn't just me just being different actually was something of what I was being targeted because of how different I am. I mean, there were a lot of kids who were also different, and I guess they were also targeted in some way. I'm not really sure. I could only speak for myself. But at the very at the very young age, I was already being told not to fight with fists, with your arms, with your legs, whatever. No physical contact. You have to go to the authority. So that's what I did. I went to my teachers, to the principal. Even I was I befriended to the principal because of this. And of course, that also gave me I kind of empowered me, but at the same time receded. I kind of went back. I didn't want to talk to a lot of the kids because it was a bad experience. I kind of became like a teacher's pet in a way, because I would only talk to teachers. I had a few friends. There were people who were also new immigrants at that time. But yeah, I kind of in a way regret it now, because I'm still taking all these ESL classes, and even though I have been in this country for 21 years now, it still is kind of it's like I'm left wondering myself, like, how come I still speak like this? And it's because at that age I should have fought my way through the language and really practiced it. And but at the time I was just overcome with fear, overcome with overwhelmed with the culture, so it wasn't in my mind at the time. So if I could go back in time and tell that to my younger self, that's what I would tell them. And also to uh to possibly go into the stock market and go for Apple or for Amazon. But aside from that, there's that. But yeah, and
Very good.
also I had to deal with non-native speakers as well. It's like here's an idiom, or rather a saying that I learned. It's like calling the it's like a pot calling the kettle black. or maybe it's the reverse. I'm not sure, but basically a pot is supposedly black in this case, and also a pot is black. So if a kettle says, "Hey, pot, you're black," it's basically kind of a reflection of what they are also. So it also is kind of synonymous to "it takes one to know one," and it's really hard because I don't want to disparage Filipinos, but there is a common thing, like a common mentality that if you don't speak the language at its if you don't speak English to the best that you can, or rather, yeah, it is. Perhaps is to the best of your ability, but if you're still not doing it well, you're gonna get laughed at. You're gonna get ridiculed. So it's really hard, like what Kuya Edward was saying earlier. Same thing, But the thing is, I was also one of those people that would laugh because I saw because whatever a kid sees, right, is kind of like the right thing for that kid, whichever way it goes, and then and only later on that the kid realizes that it's not supposed to be right. But at any rate, I grew out of that, and it hurts, It's like there was also another saying where if you don't want to get hurt, you're not supposed to throw a stone at a glass building or something like that. I forgot the exact words for it, but it basically says that if you don't want to be so treat people as if you want to be treated based on the golden rule, the Christian golden rule,
Yeah.
essentially. So there's that, and um what was I gonna say now? I lost my
Yeah,
train of thought.
that's
Yeah, so
sad.
bigotry,
Yeah,
native
that
speakers and non-native
yeah,
speakers.
that's sad to hear that
Mhm,
you had to go through that with basically your own community. Within
mhm.
your own community, you suffered this bowling thing. It sounds like it's a known thing. It's a tradition
Yeah.
for you guys Filipinos to have this thing, this competition with the who is speaking proper English or good English or who is not
Hmm.
going to get laughed at. That's something that I have not experienced. What I did experience was Brazilians not seeing me as a Brazilian anymore because I didn't sound like them. I didn't sound anything like them. They couldn't relate to me anymore. In the US, when they finally found out that I was Brazilian, when I allowed them to find out, maybe. But in Brazil, it's like I'm not even treated like a Brazilian. If I'm speaking English, I'm not even Brazilian. Yeah, they just treat, then they call me gringo,
Gringo.
and and it's fine because as I said, it's like this extension of my personality. It's like who I became really. To the point that yeah, I'm Brazilian American. I'm no longer just Brazilian, and I'm definitely not just an American because I wasn't even born in the U.S. I'm nationalized. I naturalized. So yeah. But this bowling thing is interesting. Like that's new to me. If you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have ever learned. Of the
But
Philippines.
yeah, by the way, Jeff, I wanted to also say that even to this day, there are some slides that there are some sites that I still get. Like for example, this one. This is like something that this is a message from. I'll just say a work, and this is what this is what this person said. Sorry, was that English? And so in a way, I recorded something, and yeah, so that this was the response. So was that English?
You
Another
you recorded something and you
yeah,
sent it audio.
yeah, and basically, yeah, it was yeah, and then they would ask me, "Is that English?" So there's that.
Who's
There's
this
another
person?
one.
Who's this person? Like because
I would
I've
not want
heard
to.
you,
I
I've
don't want
heard
to
you
say
talking
it was,
before.
but it was a
Yeah,
coworker, someone from
Is it
is this a native speaker?
yes, native speaker. At least I
is it
could say that.
is it your teammate? Like
I
something
will
like
definitely just say that
your coworker, something
someone
like that?
a coworker. Just let's just say a coworker.
Oh, maybe it's for me it's like kind of like a racial thing because uh for sure he or she knew you for sure.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, definitely. They
that's
know
for
me.
sure.
They know me, of course. Here's another one though. I've never seen this person. I don't know what this person really looks like in real life. But look at this. We were so the backstory for this was that we were talking on the phone because we just could not, for the life of us, solve this problem. And but as an aside, he says this like, so what are your primary and secondary languages? I don't think you sounded particularly American on the phone. Like, why would he say that? Like, I mean, we were talking about this. We're talking about English dubs. We're talking about French subtitles, and you have this. You have primary and secondary language. Why would you bring that up? You know, you didn't, or rather, maybe this is okay to say, but maybe why would you say this? Like, I didn't think you sounded particularly American on the phone. He could have just
You
asked, so what
notice,
are your primary
notice
and
that
secondary
he's
language?
using particularly.
Yeah,
Notice that he's using particularly. So that is a detail because he's just, well, for some reason, he's trying to criticize your English, but he can't. So he
yeah.
is just saying particularly
Mhm.
American because you sound American. I've heard people that sound just like you. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, let's actually touch upon that.
Ridiculous.
I've been dubbed near native, and
Near
so
native. It's a
so
no
near
native.
native. So
Near native.
I've been speaking this
Native
language.
like. Native like, right?
That's what
Yeah,
you've
native.
heard, yeah.
Yeah.
But what about you? Yeah, but
Mhm.
what about you, hermano? When it comes to being discriminated, is there such a thing as calling the
Mhm.
kettle black in Argentinian society, or is it just in Philippines?
Well, as I never been to an English-speaking country, I haven't experienced something like you guys. But and also English isn't like in here, something like in the Philippines. It is the language that we all learn in school, the privileged foreign language, but we don't actually speak English, so we don't have like something like that. But in the when we are, for example, in college or in an English course, maybe the advanced students are going to mock you about your accent, the way you speak. That was what happened to me at the beginning with the advanced student. But nowadays, my English is not perfect, but I don't care about they criticize me because I'm also able to spot mistakes on their speaking. So I don't care about if they say something. I also have things to say about their English. So uh, that's nowadays I don't care about that. But yes, I think that also here within the people that is learning English, you have some discrimination and some mockery uh, from the advanced student with the beginners. But it depends the people you have around, and but English unfortunately isn't something big here yet. I wish we spoke more English, like maybe in Europe, in other countries, or like in the Philippines. But well, I think, but in practice, but sorry, I also had the experience that writing some comments on YouTube, and someone tell me, "Was that English as well?" Like in the like what happened to you, Vince. Also, I remember another experience when I was in an English in a Facebook community that was in which I was more active in the past, and I made some comments in a post, and there was a guy also from Argentina, but an old man that maybe I think he was a teacher, and he was telling me all the mistakes I was making in my comments, and he was like really rude and went straight to just to spot my to all the mistakes I made, and it was like I don't know, something I wasn't expecting, because it wasn't a class, English class, or he wasn't my teacher. It was a comment on someone's post, and this guy just went to tell me
Yeah.
the mistakes I committed. I didn't ask him to correct my English, so it was like it's someone like the advanced speaker against the beginner, or I don't know. It was like silly, but I learned from that there are people that is I don't know, they
Yeah,
are picky about these
def-
things.
definitely it's okay to be to actually criticize on someone, but you need to be constructive in it, and you need to be respectful. I think, and if the person is not asking you for any criticism,
Yeah,
why would you want to say? Yeah, why would you? Yeah, why would you add to the conversation and get your and offer your feedback? It's just going to hurt the person, you know. And
yeah.
I think, but
Those like public posts,
it's a public post, exactly.
yeah, I
You
have the
need
impression that well, some people have this urge of showing off their own skills. That's what happens. So they want to show off their own skills, and so they want to put you down to in order to make themselves go up. Okay, so that's what happens. It wasn't a class like you were saying, Eduardo, but he felt like, oh, you know what? I'm a teacher, so I'm gonna make this guy my student here in front of everybody, so I will look good. But he looked like an asshole. That's the reality.
Yeah,
that's it, yeah.
that's
Um,
true.
so yeah, but the thing is, print actually also has a different ring to it because it's print. It's you wrote something. It's devoid of the emotions. Maybe the way that this person is going to deliver it in person would maybe it would be different. So there's
Maybe.
also that aspect. I would love to give everyone the benefit of the doubt when it comes to these things. But if it's really, I mean, I could also give the benefit of the doubt to those people who said whatever to me, and because the thing is, harboring this kind of thing, like this bitterness in life, is really damaging to one's health. But I'm not gonna go into that. Let's not, like what Kuya Edward was saying. Let's not turn this into a pity party. Let's actually move on, and we're gonna move on to our next question, which is what do you think the universal language will be in the future? Is it still going to be English, or is it going to be something else? What do you think, Jeff? Is it going to be still being? Is it
Oh,
going to
I
be English?
honestly think that's going to be English. Yeah, I might be wrong. I might be
I mean, yeah, we never know.
wrong. I really think that's going to be English for well, at least another 50 years. It's going to be English. It's becoming more and more a universal language. More and more people are learning and mastering it by the day. I see it's happening. I work in the industry, so more and more people are acquiring the ability to use the language. So I think English is going to be the universal language for the next. I'll put my cap on 50 years. Okay?
50 years. Okay. What about you, Hermano?
Yes,
English or
I
not?
I agree with Jeff that English is already in that position, and I don't think that any other language will compete with English in the same, I don't know, in the same level, because English has the not only the history and the power on this history, but also now the countries that are native speakers of English are the power the more power countries, and in terms of economy, culture, media, and I don't think that these things is going to change in about a century or 50 years, like Jeff said. So I think that the place that English has is not all. It's not English doesn't have this place as international language for being the easier language, but it has this position because of the power of the nations that speak the language. And you know that now this power is not only political and economical, but also cultural. All the movies, music, and everything is in English. If you want to expand your possibilities as an artist, for example, you have to learn the language, master the language, and start producing material in this language. So I don't think that it is going to change soon. And also, I don't think that, for example, in Latin America, we will change English for, I don't know, a language like Chinese, Korean, Japanese, because are too much alien for us, this language. So I don't think we are going to learn a different alphabet, produce sounds that are too much in the other corner of the our possibilities. So I think that English is the perfect fit for us in Latin America, at least. And I think that it's also easier for people that are in Asia. They learn English and they sound really well. So I think that English is doing well in this position. I don't think that it is going to change.
All right, thanks for that, Hermano. What about you, Kuya Edward? Same deal?
Yep, same for me because as we all know, the the English is the most dominating language in the world right now, and the English is like conquering the world as of as of the moment. And I think in the near future, it will gonna conquer like all of the all of the countries because as of we are the living proof right now. We are now the living proof. We're a non-native speaker of the English language, and we're just like holding it, embracing it, and and we want to pursue and we want to learn from it. So I think I think it would still going to be English as as a universal language, and English is the most useful language in the world, so we cannot deny it. And its universal language status proves that fact learning anything new can be time consuming. So it's gonna be a waste of time if you like if you're gonna compose something else. And however, irrespective of where you come from, however, if you learn English, it will open an array of opportunities for you. So I think it's gonna be like still the English language as universal language in the future. There will be some maybe there will be some added words that will like inventive words, something like that. But I think it's it will not gonna change.
Well, I remember something that I think Sheila mentioned. That is that you need to love the language to be interested on the culture and everything about the language. And I think that English has this combination that everybody is I don't know, they want to at least to visit the states and go to London and learn about the Beatles and understand the movies and go to the Golden Gate and everything that those things that we see in the movies, the Great Canyon and all the I don't know, people they love this culture that come from the U.S. and from the other countries that speak English, mainly from the UK and the US, because I think that this factor of cultural interest is a key factor that we need in order to be interested in learning the language. So that's also happening to me that I'm thinking of learning a third language, but I'm looking for a culture that I will be interested on, and I don't know, dive in this culture and learn about those people. And I think that Germany is something that is I would be willing to learn about the country, the people, and along with the language. So, but I'm not sure yet. Also, French could be, but
Okay,
mm,
so that's what.
maybe in the future Tagalog. I don't know. You guys can help me with that.
Yeah, definitely. We're here at your disposal, Hermano. When it comes to me, actually, I would have to be a contrarian because I actually researched this, and I think it's going to be Chinese, and it's only because it's going to be a stronghold when it comes to the economy. As you may have heard that in the past we had a lot of languages dominating, our cultures. I'm going to now share something with you. I am going to share my screen. Go to a specific window if I can, actually Chrome tab, and that would be the will everyone speak English in the future? According to these people, in the past we had numerous. Hold on, I'm going to just mute some of you guys because I'm hearing some feedback. Sorry about that. And so here we go. So we have, well, everyone speak English in the future. In the past, we had multiple languages that were dominant. We had Greek in the Mediterranean basin, but then it got toppled by Latin, by its rise. And then we also have Arabic that also was brought to the different areas of Africa, and you know,
Well,
and also
Spanish
this,
have a lot of
yes,
Arabic words,
yeah. For example, alcohol, right? Anything that kind of
alcohol,
alcoba. What else? Anything that,
pantalon,
there you go, pantalon. So those words,
aceite,
there you go. So an alchemia, I guess,
alquimia, teja,
alchemia. So
tejado.
they use the language rose. We have another one, French. You know, got transplanted into Canada. We also have some in Africa, also in South America. Actually, look at that.
I think
Um,
it is called Guyana or something like that.
oh, okay, French Guiana, yes, exactly. And we also had, what else is here? So it's saying that this article is saying that it's going to be Chinese because of the global economic. Here's the GDP of the U.S. right now, um, and but then China is actually on the rise according to this. So here's, oh, actually this is the Chinese GDP compared to the chart to that of the U.S. So they're definitely going up too. Here's the U.S. Here's China, kind of growing, and right now I hate to say it, they're also encroaching into other South Asian uh, territories. For example, the Philippines. We kind of joke about it now that eventually the Philippines is going to be a province of China, and it's because they've kind of like taken over the South China Sea or the Philippine Sea, and you know, saying that it's actually theirs. Like, what are you
Well,
talking about?
you
But
kind of have the look, right? You
yeah,
kind of have the look
but the
for
thing is, I
people.
do have the look. When I was, yeah, they call me Chino. I mean, Chinito. Yeah, I'm one of the Chinitos in the Philippines. Yeah, let's just say it that way. And it's because it's true. I am of Chinese descent, um, but then I don't speak the language because I've already lost it. Like, it's been multiple generations, and a lot of our family has already interbred with the locals. Even have some Spanish, you know, because of freaking Spanish conquest. But yeah, it's going to be Chinese according to this, and it's only because of the global economy. However, there are also other. Um, I'm going to stop my sharing. I'm going to share another one, and it's also almost the same thing. The future language. So here we go. We have these languages. According to this, it's going to be Brazil, Brazilian, Portuguese, Russian, Indian languages, and Chinese. So for them, it's going to be these languages, and it's only because of it's the emerging economies of these. So it's not going to be one single language. It's going to be
Yeah, good thing that my
a
kids
few.
learn Brazilian Portuguese now.
Yeah, it's weird, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, they did.
yeah, Brazil.
My daughter, can you guys believe my daughter prefers speaking Portuguese than English, even
Wow.
though her first language is English. She kind
Hmm.
of hates speaking English these days, just because she has friends who speak Portuguese and she feels like herself. She's 16. She's been
Hmm.
here for almost 6 years now. So she spent her adolescence here, right? She's been here, so she loves Portuguese.
There we go. So
But
if you have
you know,
friends in the language, she's in love with the language because she has connection. But
Yeah, she has connections and she sounds like a native of this place, so it's
there you
crazy.
go.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Um,
yeah, kids are awesome learning languages.
yeah. If
Well,
only we could do that, right?
I think that Spanish should be in that list because
It is.
culturally,
It is
yes,
in that list.
we are taking over all the Americas. I mean, one day we will get to Canada because Spanish is everywhere in the Americas.
Yeah. But here's the thing. There was another website that said that it's going to be 10 languages. So it's going to be Chinese first of all, and then second would be Spanish, the language of the South America, or of course also North America. Uh, we also have some Spanish speakers in Africa because of and then the Philippines
Yes, it
kind of
is.
trailed off. By the way, did you guys know that Spanish is being reintroduced in the high schools in the Philippines? It was a 2009 article. I'm not sure what happened to it, but Clea Edward probably has more of insight. Probably it died out. It died out. But I would never know, unless I ask teachers. The third one would be Indo-Aryan languages. We're talking about Hindi, Punjabi, all those languages.
So, according to that research, what's going to happen to English?
English is going to be number 10. It's still going to be it's going to be number 10.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So we have we have Arabic, and then Russian, German, Japanese for some reason. Of course, I guess because of the economy, and then Portuguese because of Brazil, and then French, and then next up is English because of the emerging language. So you need to kind of like speak to your consumers.
But
That's what it was arguing.
Spanish is all the way up there, right?
Yes, it's definitely number 2.
So I got it. I got it covered. I'm gonna be good.
There you go. You're gonna be good. Now we just all need to kind of learn Mandarin or maybe
Yeah, that's gonna be a major challenge.
It will be.
Yeah.
I heard it as a kid, so I guess the phonetics is going to be it's going to be easier for me. I could kind of mimic it whenever I hear it.
Well, can you say something right now?
大家好，你好什么？大家好，
No, I can't go there. Like, try again.
Yeah.
大家好，大家好，
好，
您好，您好， yeah，
你好，你好，
Ni hao. Ni hao.
你好 something like
yeah, exact. So
more
I mean,
nasal.
it's really nasal. Yeah, a lot of nasals.
What if you don't get the nasal? Is it still the right sound? Do you know that?
I'm not sure.
It's more chest-based sound.
My friend
你好
speaks Mandarin Taiwanese, Taiwanese Mandarin. So it's still kind of the same thing almost as PRC Mandarin. But here's the thing: her boss is Filipino, but then she also speaks Mandarin because she's a heritage Chinese speaker. And whenever she speaks Mandarin, she has a Filipino accent when it comes to Mandarin. It's kind of the reverse. And she gets some flack. She gets some flack. I mean, she doesn't.
Is Chinese a tonal language?
It is a tonal language. You need to be careful with the tone.
That will be really tough for us.
It will be tough. It will be tough. It has 8, if I'm not mistaken. Was it 8? Yeah. I mean, I'm even having trouble with Vietnamese that has only supposedly 5 or 6. Was it now? The tones. I have to revisit this. But still,
the same word can have different meaning depending on the tone. That's tough.
Ma.
Wow.
Something like that. I don't remember which one is which. Yeah. So yeah. So that I guess that covers everything that we have for today. Thank you so much, guys. We're the only ones who are left. We kind of went over about 12 minutes past what we were intending to just record, but we had fun, right? Was this fun?
It was
really fun.
Definitely.
I know for those people watching, we are trying out this. We are improving, learning. So bear with us. This is a new project, and we'll improve it in the future. Yes, we need just to. Yeah.
I actually noticed that we were faster this time around. We were like on point. We didn't really have a lot of ums and ahs, I think we did, but we didn't have a lot of silence, which was good. I think which is good. I definitely see the progress. And for the first episode that we had, we went for like almost an hour and 45. Now we're only like an hour and 13, and we were really able to, even though we had more people at the beginning. I wish they were able to stay. So thank you so much to Julie Jimon. We also have Ran Sulab. We also have Ate Sheila from Turkey. So they had to leave earlier. And it's just the 4 of us. I guess this is what we call the core group, because these are the ones that are really like almost present. So again, my name is Vince. We have Eduardo. We have Hermano Eduardo. We also have Jeff, the English coach, and this has been the Rinky Dink Late Crew. Thank you so much, everyone, and we're gonna end the live now.
See you guys
next time.
Bye.